is the head coach of Pitt. He has taken this team to 3 straight NCAA tournaments and is the 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. And for Chris Poole, he just wins a lot. He is 4th among active coaches in Division I in all-time wins. And this is a battle that could have implications in terms of the seedings. Pitt is trying to put itself in contention to getting a top 4 seed. Florida State is trying to solidify a spot in the tournament, and the opening point goes to Pitt. These two teams met on October 6th, and Pitt beat Florida State 3-1 in Tallahassee, but it easily could have been Florida State up 2-0 as they had set points in the second set. So this is a tough matchup for Pitt. And an ace delivered by Kayla Lund. Lund, one of the most decorated players in Pitt history. She's won the ACC Player of the Week more times than any other Panther. And a good start for Pitt. The question that I want answered tonight, Jennifer, is the mentality of Florida State after that gut-wrenching loss to North Carolina last week. And they were up 9. They came from 2 sets down against the Tar Heels and were up 9-1 in the 5th and lost the match.
And I talked with Coach Poole, and he said that that is the thing that has been a struggle all season. You saw a lot of hitters that have been out of the match, but they're just trying to really mentally focus and rebound.
That is one of the top blockers in the nation. Canute, number 13 in black. She is 3rd in the nation in that category. And we're tied at 2 in this opening set. First to 25 win by 2. And a low set. Akeo kept it alive. Good hustle by the Panthers. And Martin Long on that attack, point Pitt.
And that's what you want to see from both sides of the net. You really want to see everyone really taking an opportunity to sacrifice their body on the floor and earn the point.
Zoe Faki into the match from Athens, Greece. Comes in to serve 10 aces this season. And misfires on that, so already a couple of service errors on Pitt. Pitt has already won the ACC championship, but now playing for the highest possible seeding it can get in the NCAA tournament. The top 4 seeds in the tournament get the chance to stay at home in the first and second rounds, and then if they win that, host regionals.
It's really dangerous to give a team like Florida State an opportunity to really fight with the number 2 team in the nation.
Inde pursues it, and the back row attack from Lund. Nice touch by Canute, point Seminoles.
And Taryn Canute really wanted to aggressively attack that ball, first tempo going up. But it's also about placement, a little bit of a misstep with the setter. She places the ball perfectly.
Florida State won the opening set against Pitt when they played in Tallahassee. Inde sides out for Pitt. Inde, a junior from Houston, Texas, aspires to go to medical school. And one of the most dynamic players on that front line for Pitt.
This is a rotation for Pitt that you see Lexis Akeo in the front row. So let's see if Florida State really utilizes the short blocker.
They went right at her, and it did not give the touch. Akeo, number 1 in white. She's the freshman setter that has been outstanding this year at that position. There's Markowitz from Slovenia, 2-time All-American. Point Florida State. Based on what happened to Florida State on last Sunday at Chapel Hill, or in Tallahassee, I should say, how important is this first set for Florida State? Is it more important than usual?
It is a mental opportunity for them to make sure that they take a step back and say, we're not going to dwell on our mistakes on that last match and carry it over into a team like Pittsburgh, who is very dangerous because of their consistency.
Williams misses on this attack.
See a little deep dish action from KO, but Stephanie Williams hit that ball a little bit flat. That's why it sailed out like a float.
Actually, that was touched, so the point goes to Pitt. First swing by the ACC Player of the Year, Chacon. She's number 15 for Florida State. Here she is again. And that will not go over. Point Florida State. Chacon 15 in white.
And Coach Fisher really giving it to his team, because that was the second opportunity, especially on the left side from Florida State, that was a tipped ball. So reading the hitters is very important. That Pittsburgh is not doing well.
Roberts, the libero, serving for Florida State. Caffrey keeps it alive. And down the line, Van Buskirk with the kill, the Canadian.
Van Buskirk is so lethal behind the setter on that slide. She really utilizes the timing that Peyton Caffrey was in the air before the ball was even contacted. You see her aim right to the left arm of Peyton Caffrey.
Markowitz just could not handle that attack by Caffrey. And a tight opening set here in Pittsburgh.
You see the quick whip of the hand to alter that ball down line. Peyton Caffrey does a phenomenal job of recognizing when the block is pushed too far in and when line is open.
Caffrey's putting up some strong numbers this year to try to back up that ACC Player of the Year award from last year. Tessier into serve. She's one of the setters for Florida State. And Lund had too much time. Crushed it.
And that was actually better timing for Kayla Lund. She waited before Alexis Akeo set the ball. Her timing was perfect to hit that line.
And again, Lund has the hot hand for Pitt. Lund with her second straight kill, no errors now on 6 swings.
And getting her involved early and often is what's going to pay off for Pitt in the long run.
Lund comes from a family of Notre Dame athletes. Both her parents were student athletes for the Irish. Caffrey gets the touch. And a side out for Florida State. Caffrey, a Florida native, second in the ACC in kills this year. And Chacon tools the block and picks up the kill for Florida State.
And you know, that was simply just execution. They knew that the pass was going to go to Kayla Lund on the right side in order for her to rotate out and serve. So good execution by Florida State.
Inde thunders a kill, and Pitt retakes the lead.
Gotta love the way that she aggressively attacks the ball.
Big block by the Pitt middles. Number 11, Starks, combining with Inde. Pitt 5th in the ACC in blocking this year. It's one of the few categories they're not up around the top 2 in.
You see a lot of tips coming from the offensive end for Florida State.
That was a smart shot by Stephanie Williams, finding that opening in the Seminole defense.
It was all about tempo. Stephanie Williams, again, did a good job of noticing the different timing in the block and when to put that tip over. Lily Tessier for Florida State should have sacrificed her body on the floor.
Pitt number 2 in the rankings, number 5 in the RPI. They were number 5 on the NCAA's initial top 10 reveal of the seeds back in early November. And they are trying to play their way up into a top 4 seed. Williams again tools the block this time, and Pitt has its largest lead of the opening set.
Again, Stephanie Williams, just a really smart player. She sees that Emma Clothier for Florida State did not close the block. You see she did not seal and press forward. And she's a little bit frustrated with herself for not doing so.
Good swing by Chacon, who picks up the point for Florida State again. Florida State last year finished 2nd in the ACC to Pitt. And they went back to the NCAA tournament. In fact, I mentioned it in the open there. They've been to 10 straight NCAA tournaments. Only 12 programs nationally have done that. Williams with the error, point Florida State.
And that was a little bit of a trap set, a little bit too close to the net for Stephanie Williams to do anything with it.
And to serve number 23 for Florida State, Lauren Burrows. She's just a freshman from Georgia. Point Seminoles. Jasmine Martin from Minnesota. In fact, she originally started her collegiate career at Minnesota.
You see where Akeo received that ball. Stephanie Williams taking a nice aggressive attack, so you can't be mad at that. But she was trying to push it through the block.
Inde hits the top of the net, and Florida State has come back from 4 down to tie. And Fisher was pretty intense today in the serve and pass, trying to keep this team focused and motivated after winning the ACC title and pushing them into the postseason.
You see Stephanie Williams taking some off of her swing.
And Williams again, a cerebral shot. Speaking of cerebral, she has a 3.66 GPA in exercise science.
And again, you see Lily Tessier for Florida State not really going after the ball, a little bit of hesitation.
That's the thing about this Pitt team, Jennifer, is that they're just so, they have such high volleyball IQs. They understand the game so well. You see a lot of nuances on the Pitt team among the elite programs in the country. That is a miss. Was it touched? Yes. So the point goes to Pitt behind the swing of Van Busker. Timeout on the court. We got a good one in Pittsburgh. The Panthers up by 2 in the first set. Light up night here in Pittsburgh as they kick off the holiday celebration, and we kick off more college basketball Sunday as the #1 team in the nation on the women's side, the #2 men's team come to the ACC network. Oregon will square off against Syracuse, and at 4 p.m. second-ranked Louisville will host Akron. Both games right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. So a big day in college basketball on Sunday, and also so volleyball as well.
Again, Sam, I'm going to need you to say Louisville with a little bit more enthusiasm.
I will if they're joined with North Carolina. How about that? Williams with the back row attack. Good save by Roberts. And a double contact called against Florida State, so the point goes to Pitt.
And you mentioned the previous play that sent that ball over, Stephanie Williams on a back row attack. You may have thought that that was a back row attack because it was such an aggressive swing. And that is what you always want to be able to do on the third attack to keep any team out of system.
Good serve by Fockey. And Chacon has some perfect placement as well. Coach Fisher has been the ACC Coach of the Year the last 2 years. Nodded in approval with this attack by the opponent.
I mean, that was just a beautifully executed opportunity for Morgan Chacon to take what are the holes in the defensive end for Pitt and use it against them.
Well, there's so much talent on the floor when these two teams get together. Inde with the kill as she rotates out. A lot of future professional volleyball players, if they so choose, here on the court tonight. That is a big overseas market for players to take their talents once they finish in college.
And it seems like a business trip for both of these teams. The energy still doesn't seem to be there. They're just taking care of business as usual. They're going to make some mistakes, but I think the intangible for either of these teams right now is to provide a little bit of energy.
Williams is blocked. Stay away from Canute. She is a fortress, number 13.
And I think that is what it's going to take, especially for Florida State. Look at how crucial that block is. She penetrates, seals the net. She loves it.
She had 6 blocks against Pitt in the match on October 6th. And then Buskirk has made an impact tonight as well. That's her 3rd kill.
Again, super, super lethal behind the setter on that slide.
Williams back to serve. Instead of being a professional volleyball player, she's going to go to physician's assistant school. Nice block by Pitt. Lund got most of that one, number 23 in white.
You see Lund and Van Buskirk, but it was all Lund, really putting her hands on the ball, securing and sealing the net. Again, beautiful block. And
a timeout. Coach Fisher has led this program to heights it has never seen before. In fact, 3 years ago, Pitt reached the NCAA tournament initial reveal by the selection committee on November 3rd, but the committee was very clear that they expected some things would change. So Pitt is trying to sneak into one of those top 4 seeds. The city of Pittsburgh will host the national semifinals and championship this year. 19-15 Pitt leading here in the opening set. And Caffrey with the attack. Ends the run for Pitt.
Definitely an off-speed attack by Peyton Caffrey. She's not really getting the ball placement from Adrienne L that she needs. And you see that coming off of the platform. Just a nice, simple shot into position 1.
Florida State had a massive win earlier in this season with a sweep over number 3 at the time, Minnesota. It was the highest ranked victory in program history. Minnesota was also in that top 10 reveal. Nice attack again by Van Buskirk.
And you notice she didn't go Van Buskirk didn't go all the way to the pin. She went just a little behind Lexi Sakio. We called that a 6, behind 1 to the setter. And you see Peyton Caffrey fade in as though she was going to go to the end of the pins and then couldn't recover.
Van Buskirk and Williams lead the team in kills. And Van Buskirk, a middle blocker, hasn't committed an error attacking tonight. Good dig by Lund. Cross-court attack program from Iowa State.
And we talk about the experience on the side of Pitt. Again, across the board in the ACC conference, very young conference.
Double contact called against Pitt. The point will go to Florida State.
You see Sobolewski sub out. So Coach Fisher is trying to get some momentum in the offense, putting in Sobolewski in front row to get a block.
Tessier has just come in, replacing L in the Florida State lineup as well. Tessier, a redshirt freshman. She did have a career-high 39 assists against North Carolina last weekend. Florida State statistically outplayed the Tar Heels. They just didn't win the match. Williams with the back row attack, dug by Tessier. There's Caffrey. And Caffrey puts it down. Inde could.
Again, a good serve strategy is to serve the gaps, and you're looking at Akeo go behind that line and really aim at Peyton Caffrey in one.
Akeo with a service error. It remains set point for Pitt, however. Akeo from Hawaii, her sister Kamalani, was the setter for 4 years for the Panthers and finished her career 3rd in assists. Good serve by Caffrey. And Inde turns it around and wins the set for Pitt. So Pitt wraps up the opening set, 25 losses that break you. And, you know, I know that it's tough because Florida State's come back to play one of the best teams in the country. But I haven't noticed that they're broken. I don't feel the energy that I think we were looking for from either team yet. But I think Florida State is still firing.
I would have to kind of disagree in that nature because Jasmine Martin has not been doing a solid job on the production as you see her. Not really being effective on the offensive end. And she, on the right side, is someone that Florida State really needs to rely on. Lily Tessier and Adrienne L. need to be able to have confidence in delivering her the ball. And right now, she's hitting at a negative. No kills, 7 swings.
Yeah, that was one of them. Martin just got blocked. KO serving. Had some good serves in that opening set. There's Martin again. They go back to her. And this time, Martin pumps fists in celebration of getting that kill. Now, Martin had an outstanding match against North Carolina last Sunday, though. She had a career-high 18 kills. Burrows into serve. Canute takes the overpass and dispatches it. Taryn Canute, excellent basketball player in high school. She took her team to a state title. She was state player of the year in her classification, but decided to play volleyball in college. Starks with the kill out of the middle, the cousin of WNBA superstar Candace Parker. She was also a good basketball player in high school.
Good job by Sabrina Starks of picking a side and utilizing the fact that the setter's in one, so you always, if possible, want to have her make the first contact.
Chacon tried to push it over. Point Florida State.
What's interesting in the Florida State lineup right now is that Peyton Caffrey is not on the floor. She might sub in right now. She goes in and out with the libero.
Caffrey leading the match in kills. Caffrey number 15 in black for Florida State. Well, there's an early timeout on the court. Florida State slightly ahead 3-2. Pitt won the first set. Pitt extends the lead to 5-3.
Now what can't happen for Pitt, as they are known to do, was get really, really relaxed. It needs to still be a sense of urgency as they try to deepen and extend their lead.
Canute with too much power. And you mentioned being relaxed. That's one thing Pitt cannot do in the NCAA tournament. And I mean, they have proven themselves to be far and away the best team in the ACC, but now have to renew that sense of purpose as they get ready for the postseason.
And as a former athlete, it was really a struggle not playing at the level of your opponent, and Florida State being somewhat off kilter and really struggling going into the postseason. Pitt needs to make sure that they continuously play with a sense of urgency.
Especially at home. Inde.
You've got to watch. Every time Inde gets a kill, she looks at Akeo as though they're best friends and says, hey, thanks for the feed.
And they're going to be playing together another season as well. Akeo, just a freshman, Inde, a junior. That combination will be back next year for Pitt. Nice touch by Caffrey.
And just so hard for Pittsburgh's defense to pick up that ball right behind the block. Now, if you set up a solid block, you're going to know that that becomes now the #1 option, a tip over the block. So they really need to adjust the defense to know that they're doing their job of setting up a good block. As Peyton Caffrey gets that block right off of the hands of Van Buskirk.
There it is again, Caffrey. Love the reaction from Caffrey. Overpass. And the jowl somehow works in the favor of the Panthers. That is a break for Pitt.
You want to be the last to touch the ball, and to the advantage of a KO, her stature allows her to a nice quick tap.
The shorter player has the leverage pushing up in that joust. Nice attack by Nunji on the right side, the freshman from Newburgh, Indiana, who was just put into the match in this set. And now we'll rotate out as Tessier comes in to serve.
Now I think Coach Poole, with those substitutions, Jessica Nunji running as a right side, I'm looking to see if he is trying to run 2 first tempo offensives, but they have to get first contact under control first.
Lund. Good dig by Roberts. And somehow that went over, but it was out. And the point goes to Florida State. And the Seminoles have come from behind now to take the lead here in the second.
And Kayla Lund's been really, really quiet for Pitt. She only has 2 kills. And we even noticed the energy was a little bit off for her in the warm-up practice that they had before the match. So she's really still trying to dig herself out of a hole, and I think that started at 3:30.
Hillegas in to serve, the libero. All-American from Charles City, Iowa. Good dig by Hillegas. Markowitz unable to get it to go down. There's Lund, and this time she's successful, picking up her 3rd kill.
And the timing on the block is really crucial for a team like Florida State because of the roundhouse swing of Kayla Lund. You see them already in the air, not pressing over. Jasmine Martin fading to the right and leaving that hole open.
Hillegas with a service error, point to Florida State. And the Seminoles tie as a result of that service error. We are playing in the Peterson Event Center, which is where basketball plays as well.
Coach Fisher with the decision to leave Inday in the match.
Starks gets the kill for Pitt. It's a huge night in the city of Pittsburgh. It's called Light Up Night. They officially kick off the city's holiday celebration. They lit the Christmas tree in town. They had music, carriage rides, Santa's here, ice skating. So there's a lot to do in Pittsburgh tonight. Good to see this crowd out here watching the second-rate team in the nation. Chacon.
Let's talk about who delivered that ball. And usually, oftentimes, you are afraid when a middle sets the ball, especially behind. But Emma Clothier stepping in and delivering a beautiful ball to Morgan Chacon, nice and high with a good contact.
Clothier coming off a 10-block match against North Carolina last week. And Inday again, just sometimes she absolutely overpowers the defense.
And she musters that ball right through the block. Jasmine Martin again needing to make the adjustment of flying inside the court, but you cannot take away the opportunities that Inday has. Like I said in the beginning of this match, she's going to be the person that needs to be fed the ball.
Inday has 6 kills. Good serve. Nice received by Burrows. Inday blocked by Canute. And Canute long on that attack. Point to Pitt.
How about the beautiful hustle play from Pitt and the defense to not let that ball drop? That's the energy that you need. That's what's going to take you and push you towards the end of this match.
Martin, dug by Hilligus.
It's in 5, so that would have easily been considered a back row attack. And I think that is what Florida State is really trying to get at the refs, to watch the rotation.
Starks got the touch, and Pitt now with a big lead as Pitt has extended its lead to 5, 15-10 here in the second set as they try to go up 2-0 at the end of this set. Pitt looking for its 16th straight win in ACC play. And Pitt ranked number 2 in the nation right now, behind Texas, but it'll be interesting to see how the new rankings look after Texas lost to Baylor on Wednesday night.
I honestly think that that will just be a flip. I'm looking at Baylor to remove Texas from that number 1 spot and maybe even have Texas just move down to 2 and shuffle the top 5 a little bit more.
If you look at the RPI of these teams, though, Baylor had the top RPI in the country. Baylor and Pitt have the most wins this season against members of the RPI's top 50. That's a big bonus for Pitt as they try to solidify a top seed in the tournament. If the reveal was an indication, Pitt would be a number 5 seed, but there's so much that could happen. In fact, Wisconsin will play Penn State and Nebraska in the final week of the season. Wisconsin was number 3 on that initial reveal. Pitt still has a chance, Jennifer, to possibly stay home through the national championship if they kept winning.
Well, when we talked with Coach Fisher, he was a little bit pessimistic in the idea that Pitt in the conference, in the ACC conference, not so much as strong as you've got the Big Ten, you've got the Big 12. Texas, Baylor can't really contend with a lot of those powerful conferences who have 7, 4, and 5 teams in the top 25.
Here's where we stand so far. Caffrey leading the Seminoles with 6 kills. Florida State does have 4 blocks. And Akeo, another fantastic start to this match. Again, Akeo, a freshman. She's been awarded the ACC's Freshman of the Week 7 times, and she's probably the youngest Power 5 setter in the country. She doesn't turn 18 until December 13th. Akeo, number 1 in white for Pitt, has had an outstanding debut season for the Panthers.
Look for Kayla Lund to go back to Lauren Burrows. We haven't seen Madison Sullivan, another DS for Florida State, into the match thus far.
Martin sides out for the Seminoles.
And that's a player that really needs to get going if Florida State has even an opportunity to kind of slow down the momentum that Pitt has had.
Martin's dad, Tracy, was an NFL football player. Mom was a college basketball player. She's from Minnesota. Nice serve, an ace delivered by Adrienne L. Her 13th ace of the season.
Again, serving the gaps, communication for Pitt. You've got Stephanie Williams and Haley Hilligas right there, dropping the shoulders a little bit.
Chacon dug by Lund. Inde long on the attack. Set was a little too far out in front of her.
And it's hard when the ball comes over to your right dominant hitting arm. You gotta wait and make sure that it's in the proper position, because it was nice and high enough to really take a clean attack at the ball.
And again, that set off the mark. And Florida State takes advantage of it, and the Seminoles now are within 2.
And exactly right. Coach Fisher does not want, again, the complacency of how Pitt plays. They're making sure that they're trying not to make a mistake, which causes them to make more. I would say if their first contact is clean, that they're going to bring Inde in front.
Pitt's only loss this season to Penn State. That was right after they had beaten the Nittany Lions. Williams gets the point for Pitt. One of the interesting facts about Pitt, Jennifer, and again, it doesn't always tell the story in volleyball like tennis, because you can win more points in a tennis match and still lose. But Pitt has outscored every opponent this season. They're the only team in the country to do that. Even in the loss to Penn State, they scored more points than Penn State.
And that is hard to do, but again, that goes back to a clean first contact. You have Haley Hogas in the back row, serve receiving, and she has the attitude of a libero. So she is going to allow her hitters to be hitters, and she's going to take every ball to make sure that the ball can be distributed.
Chacon in to serve, a fantastic beach player for Brooke Niles, the head coach of the Florida State beach volleyball team. They're usually represented in the national championship down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. One-handed dig by Burrows and then saved by Caffrey. Out, point Pitt.
A little bit off speed was a nice idea by Jessica Nunji, but again, the contact, the flow, she didn't need to go as hard as she did to try to send it to the end line.
Pitt will play in Raleigh at North Carolina State on Sunday and then return to face Louisville next week to end the regular season. Florida State gets on a charter tonight to go home to face Duke on Sunday. That match will be here on ACC Network. One with a set to Williams was off the mark. Markowitz misses, point Florida State.
And Markowitz attacking out of the back row. That is an option that Coach Fisher said that he wanted to implement into the offense. He's really trying a couple of new things, and that's why you'll see Inde coming out of C as well as Markowitz.
Pitt also has the option of a 6-2 now as they get ready for the postseason, no longer just in the 5-1. Williams secures the kill for Pitt.
Again, you see Lexus Akeo sub out. New setter.
Setter Soboleski, number 3 in white for Pitt.
And that's just for a defensive strategy by Coach Fisher.
Point Florida State as Clothier gets the kill. But Soboleski is now healthy, and so that does give Pitt the ability to run the 6-2.
And again, Coach Fisher only utilizing her for a taller blocker option with a KO.
KO's right back in on the front row, just to the right of the net. Pitt hanging on to a 2-point lead here in the second set in this best of 5 set match. Nice takeover, but good dig by Roberts. And then Florida State wins the point.
And you know, that is something that you don't see a lot of. Lexus Akeo is really a setter that distributes the ball to her hitters because she has so many weapons. So for her to take the second ball over was something that Florida State surprisingly was ready for.
Lunn sides out for the Panthers to stop the Florida State momentum.
Good job by Lunn of noticing, again, Jasmine Martin not making that good adjustment. And Kayla Lunn going at her, putting that ball in position 6.
Pitt trying to go up 2-0 after winning the first set 25-19. Martin had a wide open court to hit into. And Florida State within 1. Caffrey in to serve, 15 aces this season, has this beautiful running jump serve. Starts way far back.
And Inde out of the back row. Like we said, Markowitz and Inde are going to be options in the back row.
KO puts up the set for Lunn. Good dig by Roberts again. Good defensive match by Roberts. Martin misses the attack, and the point goes to the Panthers.
Good play by both sides. Again, getting Jasmine Martin going is super crucial for Florida State. Hitting at a negative so far, I'm sure super frustrating, but as a player, how do you get yourself out of the rut you're in?
KO serving, she's already got 27 assists in this match. Side out Florida State. Chacon with the attack on the left side. And that's her 8th kill of the match. She and Inde lead the match in that category.
Now we're going to see Inde stay in front. We've got Sabrina Starks as the middle. Watch her run behind, but it all depends on first contact.
Clothier serving for Florida State. Point Pitt. Lund has been slowly but surely getting going.
And they've got to know that when Kayla Lund is in two, she is going to stay behind the setter and attack from the right side of the net. So a double block is crucial.
Florida State taking the timeout. Pitt is 3.
While I was at Louisville and she was at South Florida, she's got that program up and running phenomenally.
Be interesting to see what happens with the ACC next week. It's been such an unusual year in volleyball. It's the first year I can ever remember not having a good idea of who the top seeds will be. There's so much depth and parity in the game as Canute sides out for Florida State, and the Seminoles are within 1 all of a sudden.
And Canute wanted to finish that ball. That is the type of player for a setter that makes it easy to just give the ball. The aggressiveness and the confidence that Canute showed, she knows that she wanted to put that ball away. Fans
trying to get involved here and pick Pitt up to cross the finish line. And that'll work. Inde responds, and Pitt retakes the lead 23-21. Going to 25, win by 2. If Pitt wins this set, they're up 2-0.
Florida State not making the adjustment on the block. Inde making them pay for it. I'm telling you, give her the hot hand on the right side.
She's got 9 kills now. Canute off the slide, hammers it, and Florida State will not go away, back to within 1.
But you know what? I appreciate the response that Stephanie Williams just exhibited for her team. She knew she made a mistake. She knew that she was too far inside the court. She turns around and she says, hey, let's go. Let's not let them go on a run.
Inde blocked this time. They'll go back to her. And we're tied, 23 all. The winner of this next point will have a set point.
And you see Peyton Caffrey doing it all on her own on that single block.
Point to Florida State.
I think the call was that.
Was it a net violation? We couldn't see. The up judge is right in front of us.
They're saying that Akeo took the ball over.
Coach Fisher is talking to one of the other officials across the way to try to get clarification.
Kayla Lund said, look how little she is. She can't even touch. She can't even reach over the plane of the net.
Well, it is going to be a Florida State set point as a result of that.
NCAA tournament. All eyes are really on them right now to see how they dominate teams. And right now, Florida State is taking advantage of a little bit of a low energy.
It is set point Florida State to try to tie the match at a set apiece. And Inde ties the set. First player in double digits, that's her 10th kill.
And unfortunately for Pittsburgh, the hot hand is rotating out. Markowitz comes in to the back row.
Markowitz will serve. We're tied at 24. It's win by 2 now to claim this second set. Good dig by Hilligus. It's got to go over. Another good dig by Hilligus. And the point given to Florida State.
And really a super scary moment. That out-of-system ball was a little bit too close. So it was kind of cringy to see that Stephanie Williams still went up and aggressively attacked that ball, and which caused her to go in the net.
The State is going to remain with a set point here.
But even in that situation, Coach Fisher and Coach Poole had an opportunity to talk to their team to make sure they settle their emotions, because all Pittsburgh needs right now is to get the ball back. Second set point for Florida State. Van Buskirk has been so good, unable to get it to go down there. Chacon out of the back row. And the angle misses. Pitt's still alive. We're tied at 25. With a little bit of apprehension, everybody in the auditorium made a little bit of a gasp, because that was easily could have been a double contact on Adrian L. of Florida State.
Service error, third set point for the Seminoles.
And if I were Florida State, Lily Tessier's checking in, I would aim that ball to the platform of Stephanie Williams. She's made the last crucial couple of errors for Pittsburgh.
Hilligus stepped in front of her. Down the line, good. Kayla Lund sides out for Pitt. And we're tied again. 3 times Florida State has had a chance to win this set, and 3 times Pitt has denied it.
Beautiful delivery by Alexis Akeo to Kayla Lund. She goes right off of the right hands of Adrian O.
Akeo now has 31 assists, and we have not completed 2 sets of play. She averages 10 per set. But her impact has been just so outstanding this year for Pitt. Caffrey tools the block, and the Seminoles will have a 4th set point.
Now this is an opportunity for Pittsburgh to understand that for Florida State's offense and defense, there are 2 setters on the court. So you have got to know that the ball is going to the left side of the court.
Lund pushes it over. Back row from Caffrey. Lund is stuffed, and the Seminoles win the second set.
And how about the decision of Coach Poole to keep his larger, taller setter, Adrian L., to stop Kayla Lund. Great, go to Inde, get some kills, start to get Stephanie Williams a little bit better, because she went at the end of that last set. She made the crucial errors that kind of kicked Pitt out of that set.
It's a pretty interesting fact that they've lost their last 2 matches here at the Peterson Event Center. They normally play at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse across the street, which is this iconic older venue. But the last few matches of the season, they elected to play over here in Peterson. This is not where the national semifinals and championship will be here in Pittsburgh. That'll be in PPG Paints Arena. Inde gets the first point of the 3rd set. Dan Fisher, though, is quite a motivator, Jennifer. So I would imagine that it'd probably be pretty tough for Pitt to come out and be flat here.
And again, I think the intangibles of an athlete and of this caliber is that you have got to have the energy. And those last couple of points for Florida State, they exhibited the energy. And you see that right now. They are taking it into this set while Pittsburgh is still trying to figure out, oh my God, did I do something wrong? What can I fix, when they just need to really play volleyball?
Nice athletic kill by Chacon as we've split the first 2 points here to start set number 3. This best of 5 set match tied at a set apiece.
Again, Chacon quietly leading the Florida State offense with 9 kills.
They're just not as dynamic as they typically are when she's swinging. Here she is again. KO digs it.
Now that is a strategy for a hitter to continuously put that ball into the first contact of the setter's hands, and that is something that you really need to start to see out of the Pittsburgh defense, is the first line of defense, which is the block. Sabrina Starks and Ende shutting down a hitter. Again, shutting down a hitter is the most important thing aside from getting kills.
Hillegas back to serve. 14 digs tonight. Libras have played outstanding. Roberts has 14 as well for Florida State. Williams powers through the block. Pitt leads 3-1.
Now it's really interesting. Coach Poole went back with the option of Jessica Nunji instead of the 2-setter option that he used in the last set to steal it from Pitt.
High flying attack, Hillegas. What a play by Hillegas. But too much firepower from Florida State. On the right side, that attack successful by Nunji.
And you look at the pace and the tempo that was the delivery. A free ball given to Pitt. That is how you take care of first contact, to be able to distribute to any hitter. Jessica Nunji getting rewarded.
Out. Van Buskirk. Only her second error of the match. Her first 5 attempts were kills.
Now pulling Van Buskirk into the 31, you notice that there is a double block. So Taryn Canute was on her hitter. I would have fed the ball to Inde.
Nice touch by Caffrey. A cerebral play by a very talented beach player as well.
And maybe that is a freshman mistake, as you see Peyton Caffrey go inside away from the antenna. So you have got to play the angles, and a KO needs to understand that that is the only place that Peyton Caffrey can go.
Florida State up 1. Ende missing, and Florida State up 2. Panthers being very deliberate in that huddle. A lot of serious looks on the Panther faces.
But serious can mean business and taking care of your opponents, but it can also mean that they are wanting the other team to make mistakes so that they don't get the ball. They're really needing to make sure they're playing aggressive and attacking the ball to get some energy. Again, I'm going to say it. Energy is key and intangible.
She's going a little too aggressive with that serve. That's just the second service error on Florida State. Sobolewski into the match now to serve. Healthy, and another setting option for Pitt this year.
This time bringing her in back row to set instead of defensively for a block.
Good dig by Lund to keep that alive. Tools the block, and the Seminoles back in front, 6-4.
Seminoles really getting a groove on their offense, really sacrificing their body on the floor, making sure that those balls aren't necessarily too close for Adrian L. and Lily Tessier to really be able to deliver the ball.
Lund, Markowitz sneaks that down the line for the kill. The lefty from Slovenia.
Nice off-speed hit off of the block of Peyton Caffrey.
2-time All-Americans. Pitt team has 5 All-Americans on the roster. Hillegas dives into the table.
Knocks everything off the table.
Yeah, for the second time tonight, our monitor crashes to the floor.
And you've got to love the hustle.
7-5 Florida State out in front. Good pursuit by Chacon. And Van Buskirk finally delivers the kill.
Sobolewski doing a phenomenal job of making sure that Van Buskirk is available to her setter in first tempo. Van Buskirk doing a good job handling, getting on the side of the single block, Emma Clothier.
Another sneaky, smart shot by Florida State. Clothier this time.
Now I think what Florida State has begun to do was kind of expose Pittsburgh in their deficiencies. They have not been able to pick up the tip behind the block, so the adjustment on the defense is crucial in order to stop your frustration.
Big swing. Martin getting involved in the offense, something that they desperately need to have happen more often. That's only her 4th kill.
She balances out her hitting percentage.
Lund siding out for Pitt.
Coach Poole said Emma Clothier was a player that has really surprised him this year. And she sees that she's continuously working on the opportunity to just get better at every contact.
Florida State has been getting better every set in terms of hitting percentage. 375 this set. There's an ace. Akeo delivers the ace. That's her 2nd ace of the night, so she's up to 26 for the season.
Good job by Akeo of serving that gap. What Taylor Roberts needs to do is say, hey, Peyton Caffrey, you go hit and attack. I'll get these balls.
Akeo has a double-double with 33 assists, 11 digs. Pitt within 1. And Lund again goes high hands, and Pitt has tied the score as the Panthers try to build some momentum.
Nice delivery by Hillegas to Kayla Lund. Nice high swing. She just powers that ball through a really solid block for Florida State.
Good service run here for Akeo. Well, Hillegas tried her best, but that's just too much power from Chacon.
And now what Pittsburgh doesn't want to happen is for Florida State to run off a couple of points like they did in their last possession. They do not want Lauren Burrows to be at that service line for 2 and 3 points.
Burrows back there. Williams decided to receive it. Point Pitt.
Good heads-up play by Sabrina Starks. Now what happened on that last play with Morgan Chacon is she showed her cards a little bit too early. Everyone knew that she was going to tip that ball.
I love Stark's reaction. Smart shot by Williams. She has such good recognition when she's in the middle of her jump.
And you've got to appreciate that she is continuously talking to Akeo on how the ball is being delivered to her. She goes to her and say, hey, that was great. Make sure a little bit higher. She really knows how to communicate with her setter.
Pitt has slipped into the lead 11-10 now in this critical 3rd set. We're tied at a set apiece. Pitt has only lost its 5th set of the season in ACC play. A double contact called against Pitt.
Akeo knows
that
was a double contact. She's trying to calm down her coach, Fisher. She deep dished that ball a little bit. Look at her wrist action. She lifts the ball. So right call. Coach Fisher still doesn't have to like it.
I think your analogy of deep dish was spot on. I mean, when you could see her hands, they sunk down, and you got to pop it right off of the hands.
Yep.
Starks is blocked. Canute. one of the best blockers in the country. And Florida State back in front.
That is how you end with a termination. I mean, I don't even know if that ball went through Chacon's hands to the right, to the left. It was that powerful.
12 kills for Inde. 30 swings for her as well. And Canute missing. Hit that wide. And Pitt retakes the lead.
You know, that was still a good decision to go with Taryn Canute on the slide. Again, in this offensive scheme, you have Jessica Nunji, who runs as a middle for Florida State as well.
Villegas just missed the back line. Point Florida State. We're tied. And Chacon, who at one point touched 10-4 earlier in her volleyball career, has come back from a broken leg. Beach star, had a career-high 20 kills against North Carolina last weekend. She's gotten better and better as the season progresses, and Inde continues to impress. That's her 13th kill of the match.
Now this is the rotation that Coach Fisher has made a good adjustment of bringing in the taller setter as a substitution, which leaves Markowitz in on right side. So the double sub is a good adjustment by Coach Fisher.
Sobolewski is that taller setter serving. She's 6 feet. Akeo rotated out, or was taken out 5'8". Good one-hand stab by Lund. And Williams was very fortunate as Roberts hit an out ball, and Pitt will get the point and the lead 15-13 here in the third. Ball coach, Coach James Connor, the running back for the Steelers and former Pitt Panther. Markowitz builds the Panther lead.
Again, we talk about Pittsburgh running away with this set, but it was because they made the adjustment of going to a 6-2 with the double substitution, Markowitz and Sobolewski for Inde and Akeo. So that option is going to always be there for Pitt, and if they can utilize it and continue to push points, that's what's going to be the difference maker in this match.
Well, Florida State calling a timeout. Florida State, we feel like, would be in the tournament if the pairings were announced, but Louisville, North Carolina, and Georgia Tech on the bubble.
You know, I say that Louisville could potentially be on the bubble only because their RPI is strong, so they're most likely in. But to look at it, the ACC likely won't get 6 teams in, but Georgia Tech, unfortunately, with the strength of schedule that they have, they're sitting at the lowest RPI in the conference, but probably one of the best teams aside from Pittsburgh.
Well, again, the RPI is only one of the factors the committee uses. I think sometimes we may give it a little too much credibility, and it's just because it's a number that we have access to. But they will be looking at other criteria as they determine the field of 64. Florida State, no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They've made the last 10. In fact, they've made a regional final twice, the national semis in 2011. Florida State, an ACC champion 4 times, most recently in 2012. But they came into this match having lost 2 of their last 3 matches. They fell to Notre Dame and North Carolina. They had a win over Louisville sandwiched in between them. But a good showing tonight so far against Pitt. Sobolewski with a service error after that timeout. Roberts, the libero for Florida State, who's had an outstanding defensive match. Roberts with 15 digs tonight. Markowitz all of a sudden is making an impression. That's her third kill, but she's had 2 of them recently.
Again, with the offensive switch to a 6-2, that puts Markowitz in the option to be the right side hitter. Only 3 kills.
Caffrey takes care of business.
And if you could see the hold and the delay in the swing, she waited until Markowitz was on the ground and then attacked the ball.
Caffrey is a fierce competitor. She's now got 10 kills tonight. She and Chacon both with 10 for Florida State. Good serve. Sobolewski, nice diving dig. And Pitt, was it touched?
Oh, Jasmine Martin really didn't touch that ball. That's an unfortunate call.
Fockey gives it right back to Florida State with the error. You just don't want to be wrong, Jennifer.
Well, it's honestly not my decision, but that's something that...
You're not used to being wrong.
But that's something that the refs don't really look at. They're looking at the black and white picture, but there are so many variables that would have caused that ball to travel the way that it did, and one of them being Kayla Lund hitting underneath the ball.
There's Kayla Lund, no question about that attack. It results in a kill. As Lund continues to add to her total, she's up to 10 now. KO into serve. Pitt trying to retake the lead in this match. They led after the first set, and Florida State stole that second set from them. Martin with a touch. Lund misses, no touch this time. And the Seminoles pull to within 3.
And if you notice, everyone on the front line for Florida State thought that that ball was going to go to Inde, which it should have gone to Inde because she is the hot hand for Pittsburgh.
Inde leading the match with 13 kills. Good serve, it's an ace by Burrows. Burrows delivering her 4th ace of the season. 5'8" freshman from Marietta, Georgia. An Atlanta area hotbed for club volleyball. Pushed out. Chacon, an ambitious attack.
And that was really the only thing she could do with such a low set. She needed to have it, again, a little bit higher for her timing. Her approach is quicker than Peyton Caffrey. So her connection with the setters has not been superb for Florida State.
Lund has a double-double serving, 10 kills, 12 digs, an error. Yeah, that's the 9th service error for Pitt.
And again, we looked at the score previously. It was 17-13 at one point. Pittsburgh with the lead. And this is what I'm talking about, the energy of allowing a team to fight back. You do not want it to be a team like Florida State.
Pitt having a little trouble putting Florida State away at the end of the sets. Inde. A vibrant crowd here. A very faithful Pittsburgh volleyball crowd. And again, this is a program that is not used to the success. 3 years ago, Pitt made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 12 years, and now we're talking about them being possibly one of the top 4 teams in the NCAA tournament. They're ranked number 2 in the country. Sort of like Baylor. Burrows tries to save it, but Inde continues to pad her stats, and it is set point Pitt.
I would continue to give the ball to Inde if you want to get out of this set.
Kill number 15 for Inde gives Pitt set point. Hillegas pursues. it's Inday who finishes off the Seminoles in set number 3.
And you've got to look at Indy and the way that she is playing. You don't know if she's tired or excited and wanting the ball. It's always energy coming from her.
Any Pitt player. So Pitt up 2-1, trying to lock down the match in 4. Florida State trying to force a 5th set. Akeo can't catch up with that. Point Florida State to start the 4th. Caffrey, the ACC Player of the Year last year. Started her collegiate career at West Virginia, but has been a huge success at Florida State on the beach and indoor. Inday cannot get that to go down. She'll try again.
Nice stationary block by Jasmine Martin. Not swinging, not doing anything.
Good dig by Hilligus. And this time, that was her 3rd swing of that rally and finally gets to go down.
But Inday is the player that is continuously being aggressive, and you see it. Kayla Lund on the right side couldn't really put the ball away. But again, give the ball to Indy time and time again. When she cheers, you don't know if she's exhausted or enthused.
She does kind of look like that. Sometimes you think she might be a little tired. Ace delivered by Kayla Lund.
Beautiful placement on the ball. You see that Florida State switches around their rotation to get the cluster out of the way.
Lund, one of the best servers in the ACC. That's her 2nd ace. She's gone over 30 for the season now. Williams was looking for a touch. Did not get the call.
And this is where Coach Fisher goes to the ref, because he honestly does not want to make these challenge calls. And he is leaving it up to the ref, as you see a left-hand touch from Emma Clothier.
Yeah, no challenge though.
And you know, this is a good option because it's 2-2.
Yeah. Burroughs pursues the one-handed stab by Caffrey. What a natural athlete. And Inday finally ends it for the Panthers. That was an intense rally.
Very anxiety-ridden rally. But Inday getting it done. Morgan Chacon really needs to focus on sealing the net with her hands.
Martin hits straight down into the court to side out for Florida State. It's her 5th kill, and we're tied at 3.
Now serving number 17, Adriana.
L into the match to serve. Inday continues to pour it on. 19 kills now.
Now who's going to take the load for Inday being so effective on the offensive end when they rotate in the double sub coming in for Pittsburgh?
If Inday is tired, just get a little breather now. Soboleski in as the setter, replacing Akeo serving. Chacon tools the block. Florida State continues to fight for a 5th set here in the early goings of the 4th, 4-all. Chacon, a redshirt freshman. Big career in front of her, 8 double-doubles this season. Williams blocked twice.
Short-handed set to Peyton Caffrey.
And finally, Williams gets the kill. Her third attempt in that rally. First two were blocked.
And in that rally, Stephanie Williams really had to transition as quick as possible because the ball was so close.
And with that kill, she's now tied for 5th on the all-time list for Pitt in terms of total kills. Point Pitt.
We're absolutely going to get a challenge on a touch from the attack of Peyton Caffrey on the left side.
Caffrey, Bentham. And he is not going to agree with you. So it is, the call's confirmed. Didn't see that pinky. Pitt is out of challenges. That's the first one that Florida State has used, so they have 2 left. If we get to a 5th set, Pitt would get another challenge. Florida State would add one as well. Canute, perfectly placed off the slide. An aggressive attack by Canute.
Again, a really quick slide. Kayla Lauren fading out, again, of the court. As a blocker, you have to set your feet and press into the ball.
Good serve from Roberts. And the line goes wide. Point Florida State. Hunn's 3rd hitting error of the match. She's been pretty clean. 10 kills. Roberts, 14 of her 16 aces have been in ACC matches this year. Line this time. Wide open court to hit into.
And almost on an approach that she was coming down when attacking the ball. You see that there. She gets it right through the block.
Pitt up 1. Van Buskirk serving now. And Nunji gets the kill.
You see a little bit of Florida State running a 6-2 offense as well. Switching out right side hitters. Jessica Nunji rotating out. Jasmine Martin coming in on the right side for Florida State.
Caffrey down the line, successful in her attack. And a reminder, coming up after this match, will join the huddle as they will be previewing the weekend's football games in the ACC. And that's coming up after the volleyball match.
Florida State snuck into the lead, 8-7. I think with the energy when Inde went out of the game.
Point Pitt. And we're tied at 8 here in the 4th set.
And thankful, I'm sure, on the side of Pittsburgh that she is rotating right back in. So they've got 3 rotations to utilize and keep Inde in the front row.
Hey, let's go, Pitt. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Pick it up. Go! Fight!
Martin out of the middle.
Good decision by Lily Tessier to pull Martin in front of the block, away from the right side, as you have Emma Clothier going in for the slide.
Martin at 6'3". Good serve. And Williams not touched, just misses. Point Florida State.
Stephanie Williams not having her best match so far in first contact. That ball went off of her shoulders. So I would continue as a strategy to serve to her.
Oh, Starks hammers it.
You know what? That's how you rebound. You make a terrible pass first contact and they go right back to you. And you're thinking Emma Clothier nowhere to be found on the side of Florida State for that block. Sabrina Starks makes them pay.
KO now with 43 assists, 13 digs. Point Pitt. And Pitt coming right back now to tie the score at 10. Pitt trying to win this match in 4 sets, and as soon as the match is over, we'll head to the huddle. Take a look at tomorrow's football games. Inde missing.
And you know what? I'll take it. She has been the aggressor so far in this match between both sides of the net. Peyton Caffrey, you can contend that she has been battling for Florida State, but Inde has really taken over the game when she attacks.
Inde with 19 kills. Williams powers through the shot. A violation on Florida State as well. Point goes to Pittsburgh. And Williams is now all alone in 5th place on Pitt's all-time kill list. That's her 1,418th kill. Canoe blocked. Van Buskirk gets the point. Successful years. Caffrey calls everyone off.
And that's what you're supposed to do, as positioning was a problem for KO to not be able to handle that ball.
Nunji gets credit for the kill. Florida State trying to force a 5th set here in Pittsburgh.
Good decision by Peyton Caffrey not to use your hands.
Canoe gets the point for Florida State.
I think on the side of Florida State, they are playing volleyball. And what I mean by that is they are the aggressor. They're communicating. And you see a team like Pittsburgh who is just wanting Florida State to make mistakes instead of really attacking aggressively at the ball.
Playing not to lose.
Playing not to lose. Now you're seeing a lot of touches on the block.
Cross court, that's out. Point to Pitt.
And again, when Inde goes out, out goes the energy for Pittsburgh.
KO and Inde rotate out. Sobolewski into serve. Pitt trailing by 2, but up 2 sets to 1. A reminder, the huddle comes up after the volleyball match. Nunji again scoring out of the middle. And she's now got 6 kills tonight. Timeout on the floor. Florida State desperately trying to stay in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a beautiful city at night. There's the Phipps Conservatory, and it serves as the backdrop to remind you that the huddle is coming up after volleyball, where the guys will be breaking down week 13 in ACC football. Friday night here in Pittsburgh. Panthers undefeated in ACC play, being pushed by the Seminoles. And Pitt is going to... Lund, dug by Chacon. It's close to the scoreboard. Did not touch it though. And Lund powers through the block. Pitt needed that side out.
Kayla Lund calling for the ball. That is the type of player you want to set the ball. Soboleski delivering a nice clean ball to Kayla Lund for the kill.
Lund up to 12 kills for the match. Inde still on the bench for Pitt. Inde has had 19 kills for the Panthers. Faki in to serve.
Let's go, Payne. Let's go. Let's get a stop. Let's go run. Let's go.
Nunji misses, and Pitt is within one.
And Pittsburgh needs to go on a run now. Again, the energy goes out with Inde, so while she is on the bench, they need to score some points at the hands of their pin hitters. And you've got Sabrina Starks in the middle that can be just as effective.
Their season, Pitt basically playing for as high a seed as it can get in the tournament. And Florida State certainly has to be impressing the committee tonight. That's a double contact on Pitt, and it will put Florida State back in the lead.
It honestly doesn't matter. Coach Fisher is wondering what happened first. But both of the calls were against him, so again, it doesn't matter.
Pitt has no more challenges left. The only way they can get another challenge is if this match goes to a fifth set.
And again, even on that last play for Pittsburgh, that was a forced set to the middle. Sabrina Stark needed to get a better angle between her and Soboleski.
Markowitz with the lefty swing. Sides out for Pitt. We're tied at 17. A reminder, the huddle comes up after volleyball. If Pitt wins this set, the match is over. If Pitt loses this set, we go to a fifth set, which would be to 15 win by 2, unlike the previous 4, which are to 25 win by 2, including this one.
Inde's checking back in for Pittsburgh.
It's big for the Panthers. He's got 19 kills. Martin finds the opening, and Florida State retakes the lead.
Pittsburgh definitely needs to make sure first contact is under control. But you've got Inde even as an out-of-system option on the left side. They need to get the double block in there for Florida State.
Big swing by Lund. And Lund is up to 14 kills now. And we're tied at 18.
I honestly think for Pittsburgh, that is their best rotation when you have Kayla Lund in 2 and Inde in 4. That is 2 options that spreads the net and makes it easier to split the block.
Good serve. Starks out of the middle. And Pitt has the lead 19-18.
And it's good to see Akeo not relying on Inde to get the job done. She is distributing the ball to other hitters. Stephanie Williams is on the court. You've got Kayla Lund with the last previous attack.
ACC academic team, and of course, all ACC on the volleyball court. Martin sides out. No! It hit the antenna, and the point goes to Pitt.
I think that in this rotation, Florida State does a better job if they move Emma Clothier and Jasmine Martin a little bit closer to the middle of the court to spread the opportunities.
That was a break for Pitt, and the Panthers lead by 2 as they try to finish strong and finish off this match. Williams got the touch, and therefore Pitt has a 3-point lead.
And this is the mental block that really frustrates Coach Poole. In this situation, Florida State was up in this 4th set, and now they have given Pittsburgh an opportunity.
She didn't realize she got the call at first. Clothier out of the middle, sides out for Florida State, and the Seminoles pulled it within 2. Florida State trying to force a 5th set. Pitt trying to hang on and seal the deal in 4. Florida State flying back to Tallahassee tonight. Canute with her 6th block of the match.
And everyone in the gym knew where that ball was going, so good job by Taryn Canute of fading to her left to make sure that she has a double block on end day.
Service error at a crucial time as Pitt leads 22-20 in a desperate pursuit to win the match here.
Now Morgan Chacon, who is in position 4, she is the type of player that places the ball. You really want to see her take some attacks.
Williams puts it down.
And that has really been working for Stephanie Williams. Not necessarily an aggressive attack, but she goes up and just places the ball right between the seam of the block. Jasmine Martin not really making the adjustment to push the ball and be inside the court.
Hillegas with a service error. Again, a reminder, the huddle coming up after this match. Pitt 2 points away from winning it. Florida State trying to slow the Panthers down. And Canute does. Florida State within for the NCAA selection show. Here, Pitt 2 points from winning. Florida State 3 points from a 5th set.
And I think on the offensive end for Florida State, they really have to take care of first contact, really get this serve over and play defense.
Williams gives Pitt match point. Remains perfect in the ACC. The ACC champions.